Hey guys, today I'll be reconstructing my 6.06 Square-1 world record average. I'll be showing my solutions, showing some alternative PBLs, and also the OBL counterparts. So without further ado, let's get into the first solve. For the first scramble, I had square left fist. I chased even, which is my good alg, so basically I can just do 2-gen scalp kite and solve that. Then for the CO, I solved it in a straightforward manner. And I have switched my 1-1 alg since, but how I did it in the average was just a standard alg. And then it gave this PBL. This is a 7-size solution, but I certainly did not do 7 slices. I made a mistake. I meant to missign the bottom layer and do NN into this really nice PK with good angles. So the mid ABF was just a small U prime, which is nice. You can see a really easy 5-slicer. But what I ended up doing was I didn't missign the bottom layer, and I did NN like that. And from here I could still do this alg. It goes like this, but I just did CP EP, and I happened to cancel onto flip on the bottom layer. I don't really know why. I think it's better to cancel on the top, but yeah, that's what I did. Now onto some alternative solutions. One thing to note is that I knew that this black corner ends up here because it's 2-gen to scalp kite, so these stay the same. Actually, all of these. And then from there, this corner moves down. So if I'd replace this corner with white like that, there's a higher chance of my CO being better. So if I'd done that, I would get this case. So how I solve this OBL is like this. I do 2 slices like that and then get this case. And that gives DS. As for the OBL solution that I did with my cube shape, which would be without doing a D prime, what I would do is do an F prime, and then from here do 2 slices like that, and it gives this 2-slicer. And that gives GR, where I can do good U primes like that. For the second solve, I had good shield mushroom, which is really nice. It's 1 slice to scalp kite. And from here I missed a really easy 3-slice OBL. What I did was 1 slice into LL, and that gave op D, where I didn't do the alg. What I did was just J on bottom and then op. And for some reason I chose to do op with D moves instead of U moves, which is worse because the ADF is already done. So I'm forcing myself to have to do an extra D2, and also D moves are just worse, so I did that. The 1 alg solution would look like this. You just do J on bottom, but by holding the op differently, you can now cancel into side op like this, and it makes for a nicer PBL solution. In terms of the OBL, it's just an M2 into this 1-slice CO, and that gives this 6-slicer, UA, where you can do NN, and then cancel into VF. I have alternative footage for solves 3 to 5, as you must have seen. So yeah, for this scramble, I traced odd for left pawn scallop. The angle I received it in wasn't great because I had to do a U2 regardless. So I did that. And then from here, I did 1 slice into kite scallop. It gave me this really easy OBL, but I didn't do it. I did CO like that into LL, and that gave J on bottom. So this lucky PBL really saved the solve. And yeah, it was a 596. The OBL solution here is really nice. It's a 3-slicer. You basically do 1 slice like this into this case. And then for PBL, it would give VT, which is a 7-slicer, and I'd cancel into flip.
yo, yo, yo.
Alright, next we have my 491. This is my current PR single. For CSP, I traced odd, and because this is right fist, odd is my good alg, where I set up to scalp kite in a 2-gen manner, like this, and it was already aligned, which is really nice. So I'll scalp kite. Then I got this OBL. So I did, I did COEO, which was 1 slice into 3-3, and I don't really know why I didn't preserve the blocks. I guess it doesn't really matter too much because the ABF is still fine either way. But then I did 3-3, and I got the 6 slice PBL, which I didn't do. What I did was J on top into Aj, and apart from a very minor lockup on Aj, the solve was basically flawless, so I'm really happy with that. The OBL solution here is 5 slices, so how I do it is 1 slice into bad pair arrow, like this. And then that does give a worse PBL. This is WK, but how I do that is JJ into KP. And here's the 6 slice alg that I use for this case. Better.
Nice.
Lastly, the 5th solve, I traced even for scalp left pawn. So I did 2 slices to kite scallop. And then this is a really nice OBL, but I didn't do it. What I did is U2 and then solved CO, and that gave me LL, which I moved into the back. Now I would probably move it into the front, but I did LL in back, and that gave this PBL OB. So what I did is O off, cancel into J on bottom, and then cancel into flip. The OBL solution looks like this. And it does give a much worse PBL, but for this PBL, what I would do is JJ, and that gives me good SS. I might end up learning algs for the CMs, as they're pretty bad cases. That's pretty much it for this average. Hopefully you were able to learn something from these solutions, and thanks for watching.